Great, Bon. Thanks for joining us. Greg's with us from South Dakota. Blake Peterson, Coon Rapids, Minnesota. Blake, glad you joined us. Bill, Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Ken in Chicago. Buffalo, New York. Welcome. Libya, Germany. Now, this is fantastic, guys and gals. Thanks so much for joining us. We are really excited to bring you the third version of our online coaches clinics. Myself, Randy Brown, Coach RB, and with Todd Kozinka up in Vancouver Island in Vancouver, Canada with Planet Hoops. So we have a great program planned for you tonight. And what I'm going to do is what we do is we sort of share with you the program as we lay it out. And so I'm going to throw the first slide up here and welcome everybody. Competitive practice drills is what we want to cover tonight. And the amazing thing about the platform that Todd and I have partnered with and come across with Talk Fusion, this is phenomenal technology, and we are able to share with you. We're going to share a lot of video with you tonight. Obviously, a PowerPoint is going to be sort of our roadmap that we're going to follow through. And we could not do this without an incredible piece of technology, which Todd and I are both really excited about. Salah Juma from Libya is with us too. Rodney from New York. So coaches are coming in like crazy. This is terrific. We are sharing basketball worldwide. So we're glad you're all with us. And then, Todd, what we want to do is sort of lay the program out here for the coaches and let them know where we're going with everything. And so, as an introduction, I'll let you kind of take over tonight in terms of the agenda. And actually, it's the next page, Todd, I'll let you run with. But we are going to introduce everybody to sort of what we're doing, how we do it, and what our goal is. I want to talk with you a little bit about the drill philosophy of putting skills into drills and then into the game. Next, we'll talk about a detailed practice outline and drills, sort of a global look at how you're going to approach teaching and going about putting drills into your practice to prepare for games. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about your top three and what that's all about, and then our main topic is competitive practice drills and how you can save time by incorporating drills that really handle a wide variety and a multitude of skills. So with that, I'll hand it over to Todd. Well, thanks a lot, Todd, and you being up in Canada, obviously well versed in the game, also yourself as a college player, and then really kind of an ambassador around the world in terms of working with players and coaches. And your site, Planet Hoops, has provided an awful lot of coaches and then also prospective professional players a place to go and learn more and get some guidance about the game. So we feel really good about our partnership. And, Todd mentioned Kevin Eastman. And, the sky's the limit, to be honest with you. One of the advantages that, anybody has when they gain experience in any field is because of the network they develop. They can sort of tap into the wealth of resources, and Kevin Eastman is obviously a worldwide known basketball coach, instructor, is tremendous, and assistant coach in the Boston Celtics. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. We actually have the availability to get darn near any coach in the country, and I'm talking about NCAA basketball at any level, and then also the NBA. So we are just beginning to start an unbelievable program. And Todd, I would hope that we can also go around the globe too, and use all of the experts and all of the tremendous knowledge we have from around the globe. That's how exciting this is. So let's jump right into it. I will share with you a special bonus I have for you for what I do with the Coach RB website. But let's just jump right into it. I think philosophically you have to start with how important skills are. Everybody's in a different place, and I've known thousands of coaches just like all of you guys have, and I have sort of, because of the people I've been around, really got to understand that teaching the skill is first, putting the skill into the drill is second, and then putting the drill into the game. I think so many times we can run a defensive drill or we can run a shooting drill, and a great term for those, if you haven't taught the skills prior to that, are called activity drills. They're just drills that get kids moving, get coaches instructing. But what good is it to run a shooting drill if you haven't covered all of the aspects that come prior to a player catching and actually shooting the basketball? And so motion offense, for those of you that are into motion, all the different components it takes for motion offense. So I want to put that on your mind to start with. And I indicated in there an example would be getting open in the wing. You can run a shooting drill, and if you're just having players just catch and shoot, that's one thing. But if you're asking them to get open, catch with the proper footwork, squared to the goal, and knocking down the shot, that's a whole other thing. So have you taught the parts that go into the drill, okay, that mirror the game, that are going to help you win on Friday night? And that takes a lot of thought and planning. So I just want to put that in your mind. What are the purposes of your drills? I love to challenge coaches, and what I do now, mentoring coaches and running the Coach RB website and Ask Coach RB, is I love to challenge coaches and say what, why, and how. And really, right now, let me just take this time. Can you answer those three questions? What are you teaching? Why are you teaching it? And how do you teach it? Not only for your staff, but for your kids. You can tell your kids, okay, we're going to work on pivoting, and you'll immediately get a bunch of groans. But if you teach them that a reverse pivot will help you become one of the best rebounders in your conference, which obviously it means that they're going to get a ton of playing time, then they'll start listening to you. That's the why. So not only you and your staff, but your players. What's the why? And then how? And that's your expertise. And that's studying the game and going to clinics and researching and asking questions, having a mentor, and realizing how Hubie Brown says only teach what you know. Don't teach for the sake of teaching. Teach what you know. And so can you answer those three questions? What, why, and how? I think those are absolutely crucial. So that's a little bit on philosophy, and I think everything starts with your philosophy, no matter what you do. So a detailed practice outline and drills. Now, this is really interesting. As I have known so many college coaches and coaches at all levels, many high school coaches, and I love to visit with them about, well, what's your global view? What's your 10,000-foot view and vantage point on your program? Do you have it written out? Do you know philosophically what you stand for and what you want to do? What are the defensive drills that you know that you believe in, that you can teach and you're going to run? And do you have those organized? Do you have an outline? Do you have a snapshot of everything that you're going to need in order to supervise, because you're in charge, you're the leader, your program. And what would that overall look like? Well, a philosophy, which we really just talked about, a skill set. What are the skills that you think your kids need to have? What are the skills that you want your developmental coaches to be able to teach? Are they just, well, we got to teach you fundamentals, guys? Well, what does that mean? That means, all the guys in this program, all 26 of us, have a different version of what that means. What are the drills, okay, that teach kids how to execute that skill set? And then what's your style of play? I mean, these are all things that come into the whole package. So if you don't right now have a detailed practice outline and drills, make sure that you ask questions so that you can adopt it. I just can't imagine. It would be like being in a factory and trying to build automobiles without a plan on how you're going to start. I just don't know how you would do that. So with that, Todd, I think what I want to do is let me go to, and one of the cool things about Talk Fusion, guys, is this file share box right here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the massive collection of information I have on this game, and I am going to upload some files that I want you to download. And what I'm going to share with you are some outlines from some very, very well-respected and successful coaches that you can really use. If you don't have an outline like we're talking about, this would be a great place to start. So hang on just a second, and I'll upload some of these for you. I think there's 5 documents, and go ahead and just download those. And we won't certainly be able to go through those, but I think be great things to go through later, and just sort of just challenge yourself on what does my outline look like? And globally, how do I look at my program? And I know that'll help everybody. And you know, the great coaches look at theirs every year before each season and say, you know what, we're going to do things a little bit differently, or you know, we haven't done that drill for a while. Let's take that out of the equation. All right, what are your top 3? And a very interesting topic, and I call it the 30-minute test. And I think that if you were practicing and I walked into your gym, in 30 minutes I should be able to write down the 3 things that I think you most stand for as a coach, and the 3 things that you make your players most accountable for that equate to winning. And I think every football coach, basketball coach, baseball, soccer, you go right on down the line, if you ask them, they can pretty much whittle it down to 3 things that are most important. Now, it's one thing to say this is important to us. It's another thing to say that we demand it and we make our players accountable. You know, I don't think there's a coach out there that doesn't say, well, we emphasize all the different parts of the game. I want our kids to be well-versed. I want our coaches to be well-versed and knowledgeable and everything, and that's great. Okay, but when push comes to shove, and I call it the yellow bus rule. You know, in Iowa, when it's 10 below, we get into that yellow bus on Friday night, and I always say, you want to feel good about your top 3. You want to know that the 3 things that you've drilled into your kids 12 months a year, 365 days a year, whether it be rebounding, whether it be defensive transition, whether it be shooting, whether it be not turning the ball over, whatever it may be, that you feel good getting in that yellow bus and knowing that, hey, win, lose, or draw, we did a great job on the things that we teach and believe in most. So an example here on the screen, guys, is rebounding. There's no coach that ever said that rebounding isn't one of their top things, but you know, if it's important to you and you talk about it every day versus making your players accountable, knowing it's that one of your top 3s, and you know, you'll stop a drill if there's a missed block out. You know, it's one thing to talk about how important it is to block out and rebound, but if you're continually letting players not block out and continue on with the drill and continue on with practice, what you're telling your kids is, oh, I say it's important, but it's not that important. It really isn't. When you begin to really nail them on the things that you most believe in, if it's taking care of the ball, there's absolutely no, it's not negotiables. Dick Bennett, the great coach at University of Wisconsin and Green Bay and Washington State, calls them non-negotiables. And that really is what your top 3 are. What are your top 3 non-negotiables? What are you going to be best at teaching your players? And so let's use that as a guideline, too, as you go into practice and begin to develop your competitive drills. Here we go. Great. Yeah, there's a previous slide that you guys asked for, and I'm sorry I didn't realize that we had a box over that. So 30-minute test. How would you do? Would you pass? What are the three things? And I've never been to a clinic, and I've never sat down and talked to a coach because I was challenged at a young age in my coaching career, and it is easily the most impactful question I was ever asked. And it was Gary Garner, a great basketball coach, had asked me that, and I didn't have an answer for him, and he just lit me up. And it was the most impactful thing that's ever happened to me in terms of coaching. And it immediately, by the next day, I had my top three. Whether it was well thought out or not, believe me, I walked in the office and had my top three. I love this picture because to me this is what it's all about. You know, we all want to be so good at everything. We want to have 1,000 drills. We want to have 15 different shooting drills. We want to be everything to everybody. And actually it says that the master of all is the master of none, which is one of the great quotes. And so how many plates can you spin at once? I see, I don't know, there's probably 20 there. And if we try to be really good as coaches, okay, on all these subjects, some are going to start falling and breaking. And the time we spent trying to keep those going is going to be time that you've taken away from the three most dominant plates that you're spinning, which are the three things that are going to lead most to winning. And as we move into these competitive drills, that is really important because that helps you dictate what drills you run based on the way you want to play the game and what you value. These are some time-saving combination drills, and these are things, and I want you to think tonight. I think it's really important. A lot of you have practice time constraints. A lot of you have space constraints, half court, full court, that type of thing. How can you incorporate skills into drills? Okay, I've got a drill called the Ultimate Post Drill, and it's literally, I think, everything you could do as everything you would need to do as a post player in one drill. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up my file share box over here on the side because I really want to get that to you. And I know, and this would be a great opportunity if any of you have drills that you can upload in the box that's on your screen. Just go ahead and hit the upload and pull a drill into that box, and then everybody else in this program will have access to it. So let me go ahead and I want to find the Ultimate Post Drill for you. You save so much time by, really in one drill, you could do the same in 7 drills. And so think about how you could save time by combining all of these. And this is a PDF that I'm uploading now called, I indicate the 3 and 4 and 5 man shooting drill. I'm not going to show that video tonight, but those are combinations of shooting skills you can put together in one shooting drill. A transition shell drill, which basically means your shell on one end, you transition out of it to the other end. So you're working on defensive transition on one end, you're working on pushing the ball on the other end, and then when you get to the other end, you settle back into 4-on-4 shell. And I found that to be an awesome combination drill. Closeout, you can add a lot of different skills to the closeout drill. And a drill called the Father Judge drill is tremendous too. So now, I have a ton of video for you guys, and I think I can best show you what we're talking about when we talk about competitive drills with this. So I'm going to begin, Todd. I'm just going to roll here and lay some video out. And this is probably the part that I'm most excited about this entire program. Is just the ability to throw this up. So I'm going to let this roll, and you guys can listen in.
What is defending to you? And if you haven't specified it to yourself philosophically, your staff, and your team, that would be the first place to start. So I want to share with you 5 cornerstones of what I believe is defending. Number one, it'd be interesting to ask your players, all right, guys, what's most important, the ball, the player you're guarding, or the basket? You may get a variety of answers. We have got to value that basket. We have to guard that basket no matter what it takes. They can't score without that basket. And if we get it covered, we got a great chance to keep them from scoring. So philosophically, basket first and then get back. Get back's a term that I've got from a lot of the great coaches that I've had a chance to work with. In your terminology, it could be defensive transition. Get back is taking your first guard and getting him all the way back to the goal. Your second guard, anywhere between the top of the key and half court. So we've got the goal covered, we've got the ball picked up and pushed to the sideline. The other 3 players sprint down, we're communicating like crazy, and we're getting picked up. Now, once we get back, we're not going to give up an open 3. It's basket first, easy basket we're going to take away first, and then we're going to get to the 3-point shooters. So the great thing about getting back is we have already set the stage for building out and beginning to pressure and deny. So we're the aggressor and not the offense. I like the term no threes because you're telling your team we're going to get to every shooter on the 3-point line and beyond and force them into a bounce. If they're bouncing it, they're not shooting open threes. Now, is it realistic to not give up a 3 during the course of a game? No, it's not. But with this philosophy, you may just minimize the number of times you give up open threes. Number 4 is to talk. We all try to become masters at that. It's one of the most difficult things for a coach to do. But you'll never be good at it unless you make your players accountable for it, teach them how to talk, and demand it in practice or it won't show up in the game. And last thing is rebound with 2 hands. Every great defensive possession ends with a 2-handed rebound and a successful outlet so we can get up the floor and go score ourselves. A 1-handed rebound is as good as a turnover because we're not going to end up with possession of the ball, and what could have been a possession turns into a loose ball out of bounds, or maybe an offensive rebound. Rebound the ball with 2 hands.
Anytime you guys have questions, just throw your question in the chat box there, please, and we will stop and go ahead and answer. Okay, we're going to go to the next drill. This is a backcourt double team, and again, you know, tonight we want to talk about competitive drills. There's 1,000 drills, sure, and we're talking about putting the skill into the drill and the drill into the game. But in the limited time we all have, trying to do justice to our top 3, as much as we can replicate the game, I think that's our job as coaches. At 3:30 on Tuesday, if we can replicate the game that they're going to play at 7:30 on Friday, I think that's really a huge step towards winning that game on Friday. Okay, so this is a backcourt double team to 2-on-2. So basically, the ball handler is going to fight 2 guys. Once he gets to half court, I let him pass to a teammate, and then they play 2-on-2. And this can be a very, very competitive game.
Pass it. Okay, turnover. Bring it back. Turnover.
So this is real live footage. This is from the summer. These are all Division I players I'm with here.
Guard, get him. Get him. Get him. Take him one side so Webb can come from behind. Get to the white line. Good job. Good play.
So we got the half court. There we go. We're going to play 2-on-2 from now.
Okay, bring it back. Switch it. Bring it back.
This is a 5-minute and 15-second drill video, and I'm just going to let it go just long enough so that you guys get an idea of what we're trying to do with this. ask any questions, obviously, as we get going through this. I'll just show you a little bit. Here's the next possession now with this Jordan Ferguson, who's a preseason all-league player down in the Atlantic Sun, guarded by an NAIA player. The young man in the gray T-shirt there is a walk-on for the University of Iowa in the Big Ten. So as you see turnovers and mistakes, understand that these are guys at pretty high levels in college basketball. So now we're going to bring it back. It's 2-on-1 in the backcourt to 2-on-2. Great competitive drill. There's a turnover. If you can get drills that expose weaknesses in players, not to demean anybody, but just to get them grounded and tougher. Now we're locked into 2-on-2. All of our defensive half-court drills, 2-on-2, and offensive principles should come into play here. You can see we're demanding a lot of physicality, a lot of toughness. No two-handed rebound, and it cost them a bucket. Okay, love the drill. Love the drill. Great drill. Todd, do we have a question there? Yeah. A question about having 10 guys and a lot of guys on the sideline, how to keep focused. Any tips? Gosh, that is so hard. I think my best advice is go watch a PE teacher at the elementary level and see how they keep 32 kids going. I've always had great respect for those that could do that. Yeah, I think the answer to that is really probably gets down to designing your practice such that doesn't happen. Now, certainly that's going to happen. But I've always, if you think about a layup drill, guys, one player laying it in, one rebounding, and 14 kids standing in two lines. I mean, that's crazy. So think about putting your drills together such that you can get maximum use out of everybody. And however you do that, you can get creative and do that. But and again, as we go through this, if you guys have things you want to share on file share, absolutely, please throw this in there. Let me go to our next drill, and then I've got a couple questions in the Q&A I want to get to. But this is a really interesting closeout drill that we're doing. Webb took the ball, he threw it off the backboard, he outletted it to me on the wing, he closed out to me, and then on the pass he's got to then sprint to the player with the ball up top, and then he's got to close out on that player. Oh, this is a different variation. This is directly to the top of the key, and this is a closeout and then defend one-on-one. A lot of different variations of this, and again, coaches, so we're incorporating rebounding, balance, sprinting, closing out, getting hands away so we don't foul. That's just really soft on Michael's part there. But guarding one-on-one with a lot of space and guys in front of you and out of the lane. So there's a half a dozen really great things that we're getting done in this drill. Along with, of course, closing out, which is what we want to do. All right, let me go up to take a second. Todd, if you want to jump in here, let me just take a minute or two to answer some of these questions. The great thing about the Q&A box, guys, is it is private, so as I'm getting these questions, give me a minute and I'll just type back some quick responses. And Todd, if you want to jump in, that'd be great.
Just welcome.
And I'll tell you why. Because a lot of times, especially early in the season, they kind of have the game figured out. And this drill I know a couple of you have seen, and I call it the humble drill because I was with an excellent coach one time as a very young assistant coach, and he threw this out, and I thought 10 of the guys were going to quit, and the other 7 are going to go out for wrestling. I mean, I've never seen a group of guys so decimated in my life by an easy little 3-on-3 drill. Make note of this. It's simple, but it's really difficult to do. It has so many different really cool components to it. So I'm just going to let this run. This is up on my website, but I just want to show it to you.
I want to share with you one of my absolutely favorite drills in a lot of years of coaching basketball. We call this the humble drill. A little background on the humble drill. As a young assistant at the University of Iowa, an undergraduate student, obviously, I took my first coaching position at a local high school, Regina High School, with a coach by the name of Mike Rothamel. Mike had just taken the job. He was brand new to Regina, which is good news. The bad news is they just won 3 straight state championships at Regina. The group we inherited, the seniors and juniors, had hardly played during the previous years. He throws out a 3-man weave, and I'm thinking, well, Mike, that's not too advanced for a bunch of high school juniors and seniors. I think they can probably run the 3-man weave. But boy, I had a lot to learn at that time, and I learned a great lesson in watching him. So let me go through this. 3 lines of 3 or 4 lines, whichever you have. Basic 3-man weave. Ball starts here. First player takes off, and as we know, good players always are angling towards the middle of the floor to shorten up the pass. The original passer takes off, catches it, lays it in. Pretty simple, huh? Now, if you're going to run 3-man weave at any level, and you're just going to let guys run this drill the way they want to, catch it with one hand, just toss it ahead, turn it over, weave is going to show up in the game. So try this. It's called the humble drill because we're going to add conditions to this 3-man weave. Okay, the first condition is going to be 2 hands. Every pass, every catch, every ball out of the net. If there's a turnover and a loose ball, every loose ball is grabbed with 2 hands, no exceptions, none. And if you want to, have them pop that, not just grab it, but pop that basketball with 2 hands. Okay, that's a cardinal rule playing basketball the right way. Every time they pass the ball, they must call the name of their teammate. And what's great about this is, because guys aren't inclined to talk naturally, okay, you're going to catch them once in a while not calling a name, or if you're right here, the coach is at the other end of the gym, and these players are down here playing, and you faintly hear a name, stop, guys, bring it back. Anytime there's a turnover or anytime we violate one of these conditions, everybody sprints back and gets in their same 3 places, and off we go. It isn't the case of starting down here or walking back. So, if we don't hear a name called clearly or called at all, stop, we start over. The third one is the ball has to be passed ahead. You have to pass the ball ahead. Okay, we can't have a pass that goes parallel or behind us. So if you get a teammate that's lagging behind, since you can't travel, you're counting on him to get on his horse and get going. Any pass, okay, lateral or any pass behind is a violation. We start over. Sprint back, here we go, start over. No travel. You've got to catch the pass, pivot, and pass on the run. No travel, no multiple steps, okay, no pitter-patter of feet. That's a violation in the game. It's a violation in the humble drill. And then we're going to make every layup. We're going to make every layup. If you want to designate, if you're on the right side, shoot it with the right hand. If you're left side, shoot it with the left hand. That's up to you. Now, as you can see, if you're coaching a 7th grade team, the severity of your conditions is going to be less than a high school or college program. But I have seen some very good college teams struggle all day with this drill. I've seen 3 guys play for darn near a half hour because they just couldn't get it right. So, other conditions, touch the baseline is another one. So that every time, okay, we go lay the ball in here, this pass was made here, you always cut opposite in 3-man weave. All right? This player who passed it here is going to cut here to get the ball, and the person with the layup is going to cut here. All right. They have to touch the baseline. And he grabs it out of the net, and he needs to touch the baseline. All right? So that would be another condition. Touch the baseline. So I'll stop there. But as you can see, you can go as deep into this as you want. You can get as specific as you want. Now, I will tell you one other thing. You can go to 2 makes. Make one here, make one here. They're done. Next team steps on. You can go to 4 makes, which is 2 trips, down, back, 6, 8, 10, however far you want to go. Now, early in the season, great drill. Like I said, kind of get a feeling for what your team's about. Middle of the season, end of the season, it is an awesome drill at the end of practice. When guys are fatigued physically, they're wasted mentally, and now you're really making them think while they're playing, which is the way the game is supposed to be played. Boy, you can really get to the bottom of your team. How do you handle adversity? One team might go 7 straight times because they just keep violating conditions. You're going to find out a lot about those kids individually. You'll find out a lot about a group of 3 who has to repeat. You'll find out a lot about, instead of catching his breath, is going to encourage his buddies to get it done right so they can get out of the drill. It's a great drill to bring kids together, and it's a great drill to test them. And plus, all the skills involved in this drill, okay, are multiple. So we're doing nothing but improving our skills, giving ourselves the best chance to win. One of the most awesome drills.
Work really hard to keep up with that. I'm going to go right into a rebounding drill that we call Heat Seeker. All about finding the board with your eyes. Rebounding starts with your eyes. It then moves into your feet. And a really cool thing that I think your kids can really understand or resonate with is great rebounders always have their feet underneath their head. If you watch a one-handed rebound, typically the ball is outside of the body, and the only way that you can get a hand on it is to reach. But notice where the feet are relative to where the head is, and the head is the heaviest part of our body. And so wherever the head goes, and we get leaning and we're off balance. So we talk a lot about getting your feet underneath your head, rebounding with 2 hands. And what's cool about this competitive combination drill is whoever gets the rebound is the offensive player. They outlet it, and then we play one-on-one. So, of course, everybody loves to play offense, and so they're going to work really, really hard to get this rebound and then go play one-on-one. So here's a Heat Seeker to one-on-one.
All right, here we go.
If it's not a two-handed rebound, I will not let them continue the drill. It's got to be a two-handed rebound, and that's awful defense. And so, of course, I'll be all here. We go right back into the drill.
No, then the drill ends. All right, here we go. Let's go. Shot. Come on, good.
The rule actually is to not throw over the top because there's no help side defense, of course. But if the pass is thrown on this side of the basket, I allow it. If not,
All right, Alex, you stay.
so Alex is going to stay. Alex is 6'9", and Doug's coming in. By the way, this is Doug McDermott, who, as a sophomore, is on the Naismith Watch group at the University of Creighton, plays for his dad, Greg McDermott. He's in the white shirt there, and so we've got a really good collection of players. This is so key. If you watch this drill, or you think about your players, in this drill, they rebound the ball, they throw it to the outlet, and then, like I'm run outside of the lane to post up. Because in 4th and 5th grade, they were told that that's where they were supposed to go play. And what I'm showing them is, when you outlet it, and a great question to ask your kids is, where do you post up? Well, you post up where your defender is. It has nothing to do with the landmark on the floor. Find your defender, turn, seal, okay, and present with a wide body and your hands ready to catch the ball and go finish. And this is what I'm explaining to them. And we're talking about a Big 10 and Big 12 player there in the blue shirt, and then we're talking about really one of the outstanding up-and-comers in college basketball in the white shirt. And such a fundamental idea, but if we think that these guys are going to understand immediately where to post up, how to seal, then we're sadly mistaken. So the young man to the right is playing professionally overseas, and so we've got good players here. But that is certainly worth stopping the drill and making a note of. So, and again, tonight we're talking about competitive combination drills, and so, I could just as well bypass that and really not make an issue of that. But I would be remiss if I did, because showing those guys, listen, wherever he is, that's where you post up, that's where you seal, catch, and score. And so let's incorporate that into the drill, because that just adds another skill into the drill. So here's two bigs. That's just a pathetic rebound, just awful. And you can't accept that. Okay, if you're asking your players to rebound aggressively with two hands in a game, you cannot accept that during practice. If so, I think you're just setting yourself up to lose. Pretty good job of catching it and sealing at the defender. Nice job. A good two-handed rebound. Now they're going to play one-on-one. Doug takes him outside. Shoots a jumper. One more. So this is really good. This heat seeker, there's so much here. Rebounding, leverage, balance, footwork, rebounding with two hands, being physical. It's a competitive, tough drill. You're talking about sealing. You're talking about catching the ball with two hands, finishing at the rim. That's maybe 10 things that we can gain from that drill. So very good. Love that drill. I know this is one of Ken's favorite drills. This comes from just one of my really, really good coaches in the game. Drill in the half court. Tim calls it the man here, but I'm just going to let this roll. It's got audio to it. This is a tremendous drill that you really can throw out and use to your advantage.
This drill starts with a lot of rules, but once you run it once or twice, they all make sense, and it's well worth it. For Tim Floyd's defensive conditioning drill, you start with 5-on-5. The offense is not allowed to dribble, they can't set screens, they're not allowed to hand the ball off, and there's no passing back to the same person who passed it to you in the first place. This teaches you that you have to pass and move. Run the drill for a predetermined amount of time or a number of points. Now give 1 point per pass and 5 points per layup, but no other shots are allowed. Make a competition out of it. Make your team compete. Once the drill starts, the offense should make 12 to 15 foot cuts. Once they start a cut, they have to finish it, so there's no zigzagging all around the court. It's the defense's job to try and deny or steal a pass wherever they can. If you decide to run this drill for a set amount of time, give each team the same amount with the ball and the same amount on defense. Keep track of successful passes or even layups scored so that there's a clear winner. This teaches them how to compete. Now, if you decide to play to a certain number of points, switch offense to defense every time there's a turnover or one of the offensive players breaks a rule. Tim Floyd's defensive conditioning drill is one of the best ways to teach your team how to compete and how to get them conditioned without having to run suicides all practice long.
Well, there's a great drill. Just love that. And got that off Skills Champ, as you can see. Very good. I've seen Tim Floyd run that for a great period of time during the course of a practice. And unbelievable what you can find out about your team. Now, I've noticed our time. It's 8:05. I have one more drill I want to share with you, and then we got a couple things that we'll share with you in a wrap-up. This is a toughness drill. This is a 3 versus 1 full court drill, and I'm one offensive player, 3 defenders, and they've got to, without turning it over, take it at that defender. That wasn't a very good example, but the defenders are told there's no fouls. I mean, so they can, they need to rip at the ball, try to get a hold of their wrist, slap. Michael did a nice job on Doug. Doug's having a heck of a time. Now on to his second defender. And if you tell your defenders there's no fouls, I mean, you talk about, if we really are serious about replicating the game, now how many times in a game does it feel like nobody's calling any fouls? Often, right? Now I'm gonna let that run one more. Of course, and that's what the drill brings. You're telling guys there's no fouls, and it is a great toughness element to it. There's adversity 3-on-1. One way you can change this drill, coaches, is to go 1-on-1 in the backcourt, 1-on-1 in half court, and then once you get past those two guys successfully, then you play a true 1-on-1 possession to score at the end on the other end. And see, Michael's just fouling the heck out of him, which is what that's what happens in a game, and you can't cry and worry about it. Okay, super. Great drill. So I think that's 7 competitive drills. I'm going to check my list one more time, guys. Yep. That is it, Todd. So I want to make sure, let's see if I can get to the right slide so we can continue on. This has been terrific. That certainly isn't it. Love the video and the video quality, guys. This is phenomenal. I never thought there would be ever be an opportunity for us to be able to do this. So there's a list of our drills. I've had a question from a couple of the coaches. Can I send them the drill? Can I send anything as a follow-up? And I certainly can. I can't do it right now just because of maneuvering around the webinar, but you can email me, and I'll just throw it in the box right now. About receiving any of these, just rb@coachrb.com. And it doesn't even have to be anything that we covered tonight, just anything that you're interested in, just email me, and I will get something to you back quickly. I even have the ability to send video files, and I've been requested by a couple of coaches to send a couple video files, so that's awesome. And I would be glad to do that. All right, next slide, Todd. We're moving on here. Yeah, I just want to. I want to let you guys. Excuse me. Oh, okay. How does that look? I really minimize it. There's a couple questions I'd like to answer yet. That's why I want to keep it up, maybe. Is that out of the way? Okay, good. All right, great. I'm going to hang on to those. Todd, why don't you go ahead? I mean, maybe just talk about your side a little bit, but we certainly would love, and I'll do a screen share here and show the coaches the site that I'm speaking about, the Coach RB and the Ask Coach RB new feature on the site. Let me answer a couple questions if you just want to go ahead and comment on that. Well, I appreciate it, Todd. When you've been in the business a long time, like yourself and I and Ken and gosh, Bill, and I mean so many guys that are on this call. But yeah, we got young coaches on this call too. And when you collect so much information, I've got file cabinets. I've got all kinds of, just thousands and thousands of resources. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we could put all this together in a video-based? And I really think that we get bored with reading things, and I think we all like to see. That's what's so cool about the video tonight. And so that was the impetus behind this site. And so we're doing this bonus. In fact, Todd, I want to go to a screen share if I could, and then pull up the site and just show the coaches the site and what it's all about. You see it okay, Todd? Yeah, so here's the site, guys. This is what it looks like. Really proud of this. We think we've got something that you can't find out there at all. And basically, what we've done is we've taken everything and put it into 26 different categories. I'm going to go directly to my library so that my coaches that have 24/7 access to the site can go right here. And as you can see, each one of these is a separate category. The coaching challenge. Help me navigate. See, I can't see that stuff on this end. Good job. Total ball handling skills. Offense. You're interested in anything having to do with offense, it's either on there or I can get it on there. Practice and game management. Defense. Shooting. Set plays. Video and diagrams. DVD review corner. 3-on-3. Coaches Q&A. Toughness drills. Rebounding. Youth skills and drills. Advanced video analysis. I have the ability to take your video and actually analyze it for you and have like a one-on-one teaching segment. Video coaching clinic video and notes, skill development. Guys, it just goes on and on and on and on. And I've basically taken everything I've got and I've dumped it in here. As you can see, this goes forever. And just want to show you how this works. Let's go to we'll go to shooting. When you click on a drill category, it's going to open up an entire set of subcategories. Chair form shooting, we click that, and that's going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and there's even a second page. So probably a dozen video clips. Okay, just on that. I'm trying to figure out how to go back now. I lost that. Just out of the shooting, actually it's within the shooting and form shooting. So we're talking about two layers in shooting drills. This is so cool, guys. I'm really excited to be able to show this to you. What I like to do too is if we've got we have coaches that will contact me and say, hey, Coach, been looking at a lot of the stuff. Do you have anything on, or can you add anything on a particular topic? And absolutely. I mean, you let me know what you want something on, and I'll find it, and I'll get it up on the site. These are 2-ball drills. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, there's 5 really, really good 2-ball drills, both as individuals and pairs. So that's what that's all about, and I just wanted to share that with you. We've added a brand new feature as of 2 days ago for my members. We're giving our members an opportunity to either send in a video and ask a question, or just to send a quick email and ask a question, and I will return that question with an answer and with follow-up resources. So if you come off a tough practice or a game and you have a question on how to break a 3/4 court press, as a member, you can send me a question and I will get right back to you. And it's a really, really neat one-on-one feature that we now have on the Coach RB website, and I'm really excited to be able to do that. So that's a little bit on the site. You guys have an opportunity. Within that, I think I mentioned, or maybe I didn't, I've got 3 really, really good ebooks, one on offense, one on game and practice management, and then 190 set plays that are diagrammed that I've either run myself or seen run, and that's about a $25 package, which we just throw in, and then a discounted membership. So love to have you guys join Coach RB and pass the word. The last slide, Todd, I think I'll let you take it from here. And this is just a neat opportunity that Todd and I both realized through Talk Fusion that we would certainly be remiss without sharing it with you guys. Yeah, I too want to thank everybody for coming on. We've had a group that's stayed with us the whole program, and I think hopefully seen some things that can help you in your practice. And again, the awesome thing about this forum that we've got, coaches, is this is just the tip of the iceberg. Not only will we have great programs moving forward with some of the best coaches and guests available in the country, but you can also correspond with me if there's something that we went too fast on, or you'd like follow-up information on, or send you the drill. And I didn't even mention, but I mentor about 45 coaches who aspire to be college coaches, and it is an unbelievable community of like-minded coaches. If you're interested in learning more about my mentoring program, please contact me. I've put my email up there a couple times, and I'll add it right now. And so, but with that, Todd, we're really excited, and we've had such interest in this. We really think there's a great opportunity to move towards a membership-based webinar program, and certainly you guys are on the ground level, and love to have you continue to join us for these free webinars, and then certainly you'll receive any information that we send out from here on out. So I'm going to go ahead, Todd, before I sign off, in my Q&A box, I've got some more questions, and I want to make sure that I respond to those before I sign off. But again, thanks so much to everybody around the world for joining us. This is terrific. We can't wait to do the next one. Todd, thanks so much.